Under the Andes Mountains in northern Argentina, there is a quiet town governed by the province of Chafa. There are few people here, no tourist attractions, and the people are very simple. But on November 25, 2009, the peace of the town was disturbed by a mysterious visitor. Daniel was one of the witnesses to the incident. He said there was a long thing in the sky the length of a truck. Nearly 30 people were reported to have seen it. This strange object suspended in the air. Their descriptions are remarkably uniform. This is the most complete mass sighting ever recorded. This strange object is shaped like a cigar. Sometimes it shines brightly and then it fades. No regularity. It probably stayed about 300 meters above the town. The first appearance stayed for 15 minutes before moving south. Then it disappears and suddenly the power goes out for no reason. The whole town was covered in darkness. Power was restored a few hours later in the morning. Local residents believe the sudden power outage was caused by a mysterious object in the sky. Local reporters called the power company. "I hope I can find answers from them," that the engineer told reporters. They were unable to find any technical problems that interrupted the power this time. Authorities can't explain what this cigar-like object is. The locals came to the conclusion that it was a flying object. Daniel is like a lot of young people, can't accept the idea of alien flying objects, but his father told him this time that the strange object could be related to 14. Something strange happened a year ago. On August 17, 1995, the weather was fine and suddenly Daniel's father and everyone else felt two successive explosions. About 2 seconds later the ground was still shaking. An unusual explosion and concussion caused Daniel. His father thought there must be a plane crash nearby, but the local police officer told him there was no report of the plane missing. Even weirder is involving hospitals, military, or other emergency services. Everyone, including the department, denied anything had happened. It's like they all signed a gag agreement, despite being told nothing was happening. But Daniel's father and the village search party did a thorough survey of the entire mountain. Tico is the leader of this search team and knows the area very well. Meanwhile, Neo, the commercial pilot, begins to search the skies, but there was no sign of a crash. Until the 11th day, Neo noticed a large ribbon mark in the ground. The trail of broken branches is 2,000 meters long and 600 meters wide, though he couldn't see if there was any debris on the ground. But then the plane began to descend out of control. Neo felt an invisible force slamming the plane into the ground. He pulled on the throttle but the plane didn't respond. Eventually it crashed down the hill. In 30 years of flying, the sudden rise of air from under the fuselage, he couldn't find any rational explanation. Neo was forced to make an emergency landing toward the trail on the ground. In this exclusive video recording, a scorch mark could be clearly seen on the ground, but there was no sign of any accident or wreckage. Neo recalled that he only saw one. Large trees felled by the force of the bomb. It was spectacular, like the aftermath of a forest fire. There was an eerie layer of white dust on the heavily damaged ground. Neo thinks it's a metal powder, most likely on an aluminum floor. Most of the scratches are covered in this powder, but there weren't any planes big enough to make a mark like that, and there's no wreckage here. A mysterious force destroyed the trees in this area. In Neo's knowledge, it's starting to look less like a plane crash. It happened 14 years later. What does the mysterious flying object have to do with it? Flight accident investigator Pharaoh thinks there's bound to be some plane parts at the scene. Pieces of a wing, tires, even an engine. But no trace was found at the scene, so Pharaoh denied the plane crash. Neo thought what he had spotted was an alien craft and triggered the self-destruct device. Reporter Martha is sent by her boss to investigate UFOs. She tracked down two witnesses. Officer Petter was one of them. Petter said he suddenly saw a huge explosion. It was followed by a huge red fireball. That thing is going down really fast, with a white tail flame trailing behind it. Reporter Martha thought after investigation, this phenomenon can be explained by science as meteorites. It can also cause what they call vibrations and red fireballs. To prove that he was right, reporter Martha found the geographer Alonso. Experts say in the Andes Mountains region, a lot of meteorites have been found. When fragments of meteorites enter the atmosphere, they look like fireballs, very similar to what witnesses described. Metal-bearing meteorites are very massive. When they touch the ground, they can cause massive damage to the surface and leaves behind a lot of metal dust. The eerie white powder in the video could be a meteorite containing metal. What's left after it hits the ground? To prove that the white powder is the remains of a meteorite, reporter Martha came to the scene of the incident. "I'm gonna collect some dust for testing." From where Martha recalled the accident, "It's like being destroyed by a giant tractor. The trees all around were destroyed, and the stones were cut like a cake." Even though the scene looks very strange, until the dust was reported, Martha always thought it was a meteorite. However, experts did not find any metal in the powder. All they found was crushed stones, but not sure what caused it. If it wasn't a meteorite fall, then what was it? Reporter Martha returns to town and receives a photo from a witness. One shows a ring of fire with a tail flame appearing on a mountain. At night, the burning ring landed right on the spot he'd seen. Another photo was taken a few minutes ago. Led Martha to an uncomfortable conclusion: an object that exploded in the air and a smoke ring. This is clearly not a meteorite falling, a weather balloon, or a plane crash. Martha thinks this is what they call an unidentified flying machine. The former mayor of Charta believes it's aliens. The area was found to be rich in old deposits. The silvery dust is mineral deposits. It's a fuel that powers the unidentified vehicle. The crash in 1995 must have been one of the giant spaceships, if an alien spaceship exploded in a mountain in 1995, so it appeared in town in 2009. What does the cigar-shaped object have to do with it? What? 14 years later, is a new alien craft here? There was no immediate explanation from the Argentine Air Force.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel so that you will be the first to receive the latest videos from us. Click the red subscribe button. Thank you.